How's it going, guys? This is Luke from Coffee House, and I promised you guys that I would make this video, so here I am talking about the new switch on the KGBV. So the KGBV, as we talked about in the overview in the last video, came with one main difference, and that is the addition of this switch here. As you may remember previously, that was to control the temperature of your hot plate. But now they've since switched this to what I would imagine to be a much more logical option for a button or a switch, and that is the flow rate control. So now you're able to control your flow rate between two separate parameters. What they have indicated here is for what you would consider a half pot or a smaller pot, and then a full pot of coffee. And you can switch between those just with this little lever right here. So what I wanted to do is make a quick little video talking to you about the data that we got when we did our testing on this and kind of how that might play into the decision-making points, when you're looking for something to upgrade to. Is this worthy of an upgrade from the regular Moccamaster? Or is this, even a contender? We're gonna talk about the old one, we're gonna talk about the new one, and just kind of run through some numbers and get you guys familiar with the actual data behind this, because I think that's one thing that Moccamaster doesn't talk about is, the actual numbers, like what percent flow rate change is this and blah, blah, blah. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so we did a lot of testing on this machine, and essentially what we did is we took the brew arm here, kind of angled it away, and put this pot with a scale under it. And what we did is we took measurements of the water going in. We started with 1 liter of water exactly for any selection on the brew here, and we just wanted to see how fast the flow rate was and how those two compared, because as you may know with this machine, there's no volumetric sensor or anything like that. Its one objective when you turn the switch on is to boil water. So we really wanted to analyze kind of the difference between those two switches when given the same amount of water. So like I said, we started with 1,000 milliliters each, and we did the two different settings and went through them. So let's go through those numbers now. So in our testing with this switch, we did the half pot first, still with 1,000 milliliters of water, and we saw a 2.85 grams of water per second flow rate. And that was really consistent across the board. How we did it is we measured every 50 grams of water. We did the timing for that. So we measured in 50-gram increments all the way back up to 1,000. And as I've mentioned before in other Moccamaster videos, there's a small percentage of loss, but it's really negligible. It's like a couple grams of water, so it doesn't hold on to a lot in here. But so I did see 2.85 grams of water per second on this. And for comparison, we saw about a 4.17 gram per second flow rate with the higher flow option, which shows about a 32% difference in the flow rate, which is really, really kind of right where we wanted to be. We didn't want it to be too fast, and I was hoping that this would be a 1/3 faster / slower option. And that's exactly what it was. 32% is so close to 33.3%, which is what we wanted. The average final brew time for 1,000 milliliters of water on the slow setting was about 6:15, 6:20 was the average finished brew time for this. And then for the faster flow option, we saw about a 4-minute and 20-second brew time. It's really amazing to see how consistent this was test after test. It really goes to show kind of like how making things simple like this just makes it so much easier. There doesn't need to be sensors and technology behind that. It just needs a solid, consistent heating element and flow control across the board there. 33% was what we wanted to see out of this machine, and 32% on average is really, really amazing. What I want to be able to do with this, the reason behind this video is to be able to show you kind of like these numbers, because I couldn't find in the manual, on the website, or even from customer service or any other YouTube videos where that flow rate actually tends to fall. To go over that again, we'll put them on the screen as well. For your slow setting, you see about a 2.85 grams per second flow rate, and that's grams of water per second. And for your faster option, you see a 4.17 to 4.2 grams per second flow rate. Should give you some more clarity on what this is brewing at and the speed it's brewing at. So, for me, anytime that I'm gonna go over 500 milliliters on this, I'm gonna take advantage of that slower option and shoot for that 6-minute mark. Where if I'm going for a half pot or so, what I'm gonna do is hit that over to the half pot right there and go for about a 4-minute 30 brew, depending on obviously your coffee variables as well. But you know, I really take pride in doing kind of these flow rate tests and making sure that these things are consistent and are as consistent as they say they are. But yeah, you know, I love to stand behind different products, and you know, obviously we have them on the website as well. And this is one of those products that I really do stand behind. It's so ultra consistent, and I love that they're hearing us out and making changes like this. I think it just makes a lot of sense. I hope that this gave you a little more clarity on what we expect out of this brewer and what it actually returned with. You know, do I think it's a worthy upgrade? I guess that's a question for you. You know, if you like the original flow rate or if you like having a little more control. Personally, I don't know if I would upgrade, you know, unless if you're experiencing problems outside of the warranty side. But if you have the two in front of you, I would always go with this, given the flow rate option. I'm Luke from Coffee House. Thanks for tuning in, and if you have any questions, please do leave them down below. Thanks.